The River Area Recreation Park District order at 6:30. Mr. Egypt, you will lead us in the pledge.
Please stand, put your hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please. Division 1, Kim Joe Johnson. Here. Division 2, Jose Luis Medina.
Present.
Division 3, Rebecca Redorte Byrne is absent. Division 4, Edgar Castellan.
Present.
Division 5, Ross Leisha.
Here.
Thank you. I just wanted to let people know that we did hear from Mrs. Byrne yesterday that she would not be attending our meeting today. Any presentations or recognitions?
Yes, we do have a presentation tonight from the Food Fest. If
Thank
the
you.
representatives would like to step up.
I can do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So on behalf of the Food Fest, we have representatives from our committee, Pat Berg, Karen Martinez, and myself, Danielle Legia. And the reason we're here is, first of all, thank you so much for your generous contribution to making such a successful Food Fest this year. The amount of money that we were able to get that will go largely towards scholarships was the highest that we've had in years. So it was very successful, and without your contribution and support of using the facility, we just couldn't reach those kind of numbers. So we thank you very much. And so part of that is we like to, as well as doing those high school scholarships, we like to give back to groups in the community. And so today we have a donation to the JARPD, which we hope will be used for scholarships for your programs. So that is our purpose, and I would like to present.
Get up there, yeah. We'll get a picture of the board. I'll get you out there. I'll take a picture.
Get out. I am a picture lady. I always think.
Why don't we go over here in front of the flag?
In the middle. Yeah.
Yes, I'm standing to the men.
Yeah, you want to, yeah, here and I'll pass you the check and that's it.
Okay. You can make space for that. Space.
Okay, can you get us all?
Edgar, can you squeeze in just a little bit? Thank you, Director Kessler. All right, everybody smile. 2 and 3. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Guys, we really appreciate it.
It happens. I'm glad it was a successful event for you. My husband and I went, we enjoyed it. We always have fun.
Let's let end tears.
Let's make next year's just as good. I just want to tell you that you're all welcome to stay for amazing and exciting meetings. If you don't, we're not going to be offended. So just do as you see fit. Keep a quiet hour. Yeah. You never know. Okay. We do not have any, so the only comment card I have is from the Food Fest. We do not have any other public comments or anything. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and deal with the consent calendar. Does anyone have any questions or corrections? Anything on the consent calendar? If not, if you would like to.
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 4-0. And we're going on to the board action items, and the first item 5.1 is workshop Rancho Jurupa Regional Sports Park. Mr. DeWin.
Yes, this is an item the board requested to bring back tonight for an update. Our workshop back in early October regarding some of the issues and rules that are brought to that meeting. From that, since that meeting, there has been a recreation facilities and special event meeting That was a very productive meeting. A lot of compromises were worked out and discussed. Took staff another couple of weeks to get everything finalized. It's a giant Jenga game. Would be the easiest way to describe it because there's so many moving parts within there's 13, 14, 15 different user groups that we're dealing with and trying to move schedules around. We've come up to a agreement that is, I think the best way to put it would be palatable right now for everybody involved. It's not perfect. We acknowledge that, but we're working towards that. But from that meeting came some discussion items that the committee wanted to bring back and have a further discussion at the board level here. Because the reality is we're going to face these same challenges come like February, March again. So there's some things staff have been kind of mulling over for a while here that need to get addressed so we can, operate and function efficiently. But just a quick rehash here. And just so to acknowledge it, we have 2 members on a Zoom here from Triple R Sports. So if they want to bring in later, Mario, if you just want to unmute yourself when we come for public comments or something like that, please feel free to do so. Again, just a layout of the facility here. Refresh yourselves with that. Okay, what's going on here?
Am I supposed to talk right now?
No, we'll get to you in a second, Mark. I just want to make sure.
Okay.
You hear us, and there we go. Just thinking again, the issues with the field layouts in north-south versus east-west. I don't want to bore you guys here, the different field sizes that are out there. This thing is just
Not being cooperative.
not so cooperative tonight. The field allocation policy, district activities first, community groups, resident groups, residency, and then non-resident groups as the order of priority and how fields are allocated for our current policy. All right, so a couple of things that came about from the meeting that we wanted to talk about is the need to develop a policy and really give board support into it, maximize the field use. Then the easiest example is 6 to 8 p.m. is the prime use time. For youth sports wanting to practice, 5 o'clock's a little tight, people getting off work. 9 o'clock gets a little late for the youth and stuff. 6 to 8 is the prime. And we understand that, we recognize that. The challenge is when you get a group that's going like 6 to 9, that really takes away the ability to have anybody use the group from 5 to 6. Most practices tend to be at least an hour longer than that. And then 8 to 9, 9 to 10, nobody wants to be out there just for it. The adult groups have taken it and used those spots available, but again, it's not optimum for anybody. So we have a number of groups that have been insisting on practicing 6 to 9. And it really ties our hands and limits the ability to maximize the field use. So we're looking at some sort of policy that we're allocating time blocks, 5 to 8 p.m. And then 8 to 10. Really when groups like AYSO is out there a lot, 5 to 9, that's not a huge impact on the district because we're getting more use out of it. But really we want to limit that 6 to 9 time block and look at it the 5 to 8 p.m. or the 8 to 10. We'll talk about some priority use times for adults here in a little bit, but that's kind of what we're looking at here. Adult field times, 8 to 10 p.m. We give priorities on fields 1 and 3 or 2 and 4. Original conversation was just like 2 and 4, but as we started talking here at the staff level, we've been rotating field 5 and 6 every 6 months, the size field that we're using it for, either a 9v9 or 11v11, just to kind of spread the wealth and keep the wear down. So we would rotate every 6 months to the fields that adults would have priority on it, 8 to 10, either 1 and 3, or 2 and 4. just to coincide with that. And the idea would be like AYSO would be on 1, 3, and 5. And then the adults after 8 o'clock would be on 2 and 4. The grass fields, they did use them a little bit. They're less than desirable for the adults. They're playing a premium to play in the league, and they're paying a premium to rent fields from us. And they're looking at that consistent playing field. We understand that. And frankly, the adults are bigger, stronger, faster, heavier, and they do more damage to the grass fields as well. And limiting that wear and tear on those fields would be a benefit to the district as well. So these are some things we're talking about here. Next one is the Sunday league use. One of the things we originally looked at when opening this facility up was the ability to host tournaments there on the weekends. And that really hasn't happened because of the play that we've been using on Sundays. During the AYSO season, which is about 24 weeks a year, they're only on Saturday. We do that going into this, but we hope to be able to host some tournaments other weekends, and we really haven't been able to do that. So one of the discussions we've talked about is just maybe not having the Sunday use on a long-term basis like we've been doing now. Maybe we look at a month rental for the groups. So as tournaments come in, if the availability is there, we can reserve it out. There's no guarantee of a long-term rental to any of these groups out there. It also helps with some of the wear and tear on the facility. We do need to give it some rest. We can't run it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and expect to keep it in pristine condition. We have a lot of groups wanting to use it. There's a couple of groups that are out there right now. There's a lot of club games that play out there, but the club games are not necessarily every week. They travel 1 week, they may be home for 2 weeks, they're gone again for a couple of weeks. There's different age groups that are always there, so it's not the constant play. And having a policy like this in place to prioritize the facility for tournament play would not impact organizations like that. Because they'd still have ample time. Nobody's going to come in, 2 weeks in advance to host a tournament. They still need to advertise and promote to bring their tournaments in. So we're talking like a 30-day notice type of a deal. But at a minimum, exactly. So we can bring in those tournaments because they are a good revenue source for the district. That's pretty much it. That's kind of where we're at. I think it was a productive meeting.
That's another item. That was one more, a moratorium on.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I think I skipped over that. Let's just skipped over as part of our third moratorium. Yeah, that's the biggest one. Honestly, the moratorium was one of the discussions that staff has had here for a little bit on the need for this. Staff's being inundated with user groups. Full and youth, resident and non-resident. Staff is getting literally a couple calls a week for new user groups. And hey, anywhere from I'm looking for practices for 1 team to 20 teams, 1 day a week to 5 days a week, game, problem, you name them, getting the requests. We really need to get a grasp of what we're currently doing with the growth so we can make sure that we have a policy in place that is accommodating our user groups that we're currently using our facilities, and then really know what's available coming forward. One of the things that we're working on, we've met with the committee on this already, is an updated field use policy, where we're going to better define recreation leagues, club leagues, resident leagues, non-resident leagues. Prior to the opening of the soccer park here with the district, we've never had a non-resident group use our facilities on a regular basis. Currently, there's only 2 resident groups using the soccer park. One being AYSO and another one being a club soccer program. That's rather small right now, but has indicated they anticipate growth early next year. So the moratorium would kind of grandfather everybody in that's currently a field user, allow them to continue to use it. But it would give staff the ability to, basically start a wait list for groups that are contacting us. We're requesting a minimum of 6 months to get this kind of figured out. If we get it figured out before that, we can come to the board and say, hey, we're ready. We want to lift this moratorium. We can start allocating it, but just so we have something to say. We just can't. We're almost waving the white flag right now. We just can't take any more groups right now. To me, this is one of the biggest things we need to do to really figure out how we can best utilize this facility. Some of the other things that came up at our last discussion here a month ago, one of the questions came out is what fields can we best utilize? And we reached out to Musco Light, who's the lighting system that we use in our parks. They do have a project that the county had started back a few years ago for lighting some of those fields at the soccer park. They're going to get some updated drawings over to us, just conceptual drawings, stuff with electrical engineers and stuff like that. But just to see what the possibilities are. The biggest challenge there at the soccer park is airport adjacent to it. The closer we get, the lower the lighting would have to be for safety reasons, obviously. We've asked for some conceptual drawings for Centennial Park. That was originally designed for full-size soccer fields. Updated drawings on those. When those drawings were originally done 12 years ago, it was with the incandescent lights that were at just at the time. Now with LED lighting, there's less fixtures needed, stuff like that. So we've asked for something, just again, conceptual type drawings for that, as well as the second field at Shadow Rock. So we're anticipating those probably early next year from Musco that we can bring back. And that'll really kind of more tie into the master plan as we're seeing where our needs are going to be. Those are things that we're working on. I think that was it for the committee discussion. If any of the board members or the committee members want to kind of chime in, and is there something else that you wanted to focus on, or?
I mean, just the meeting itself, I think was very productive. I think the biggest part was kind of the initial discussions on juggling the fields and seeing how we can maximize that use and make sure that ESO is able to play north to south, and then we can accommodate the adult leagues going east to west on fields. That was kind of like the chunk that was discussing that meeting. But I think it was contingent on some of this other dynamics.
It was a catch.
Right.
For the best. I think Mario wants to speak here in a moment as well from Triple R. They did play their women's league on the grass field for 2 weeks. It just didn't work for them. They've opted to go back to the turf field and play what we're referring to as the new way for a couple of weeks here. AYSO finishes their season not a week from Saturday, and after that, their field use significantly drops off, and then it'll allow for them to go back to what they call the traditional way. That was a compromise that they tried, just didn't work for them. So I think those are some of the give and takes that we did with that. Some of the other challenges, as we kind of suspected, the two other adult groups that are out there Thursday and Friday nights, they want to switch direction of play as well. Fridays was no issue. There's still some challenges on Thursdays. There's some juggling of fields that's not ideal for everybody going on right now. I think it's just a good example of where everybody are making some compromises, trying to make things work. So, yeah, really, we're kind of November, the latter part of November, December, January, into late February. Aren't going to be a whole lot of issues going on. When the recreation week starts up again in late February, early March, that's going to run a lot of these same challenges. Talking with the president of AYSO, the proposed change, which would give them like 3 and 5 per se, actually improves things for them. And he was actually able to revise his request for the coming 2024 season, where originally he thought they'd be playing games 5 nights a week and then all day Saturdays. They're only going to be having to play Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And then Saturday. So it frees up and they'd be done on Tuesdays and Thursdays on the turf fields like at 8 o'clock. So which would allow for the adult leagues on Tuesdays and Thursdays, potentially, or some of the other rec leagues to not be limited just 2 and 4 or 1 and 3. So those were some of the compromises that some of the advantages these compromises bring forward. There is a impact to budget, albeit I don't think it's going to be enough of an impact that we need to really look at, redoing our fees or anything like that. It's going to be, I don't think it's going to be enough that it's going to give us any heartache over financially. The soccer park is covering its bills, which was our intention going forward. And I don't think it would make a huge difference with any of these changes. So I'm sorry, Director Godinez, I just wanted to throw that in there.
I honestly just wanted to commend staff on working so diligently to, get really into the weeds of things and forth a plan that we could, try to be as happy as possible, although it's, not everyone's gonna be 100% on it. But again, thank you for starting that or helping out with that process.
And I'll be honest, I came in one day and Alex was sitting at his desk and a bottle of Excedrin migraine sitting there. And his brain was fried. Every time we'd sit down and look at something, we'd think of something different. You have to go call a lead director or something. And, a lot of these people we do, they're professionals. They have other jobs besides doing this. One of them's literally a surgeon. He's like, it's hit and miss. If he's in surgery, he's obviously can't take a call. So it was a lot of emails and phone calls and compromises from the district, from RRR, a couple of the other adult groups and some of the youth groups as well. So everybody, is working better for the betterment of the community.
Mr. Lee, do you have a question?
Yeah, first you talk about all the different options that may be available in the future. Do we even consider looking into converting Avalon into more of an adult soccer area with smaller fields of play and being able to look at a layout there that could accommodate this type
I
of
really think that is a great long-term goal. A short-term, the lights that are out there.
I understand that, but I didn't hear you mention that as even
Yeah.
something being considered.
No, it will be, and that's not part of the discussion that we must do right now. Because, as the board's aware, that's one of the goals for renovation we have coming up over parks. And there's a lot of development out there, and I really think the master plan will help guide what is needed at Avalon. I think we all understand soccer is going to score very high within the master plan process. It's a new community really that's going to be developing out there between Emerald Ridge North and South, and really even Rio Vista, where it connects through. I personally think Avalon will be something the board really considers for development of a multi-use facility, whether it be full-size soccer, short-sided soccer. There's a lot of things that can go on there. It's a square shaped facility. There's kind of that unused section down there below the parking lot and stuff right now. I personally think that's perfect size for 3 or 4 good short-sided soccer fields. Whether it be artificial turf or grass would be obviously budget decisions and stuff like that. I think that is a great long-term solution. Or not solution, but addition.
I had a question. You made some comment about the second field at Shadow Rock. Do we have a lighted soccer field at Shadow Rock?
The one field that's lit right now does have a soccer overlay on it.
Okay.
So as we're getting some of these other groups that are coming off, kind of one-off groups with one team type of a deal, being able to accommodate them at a facility like a Shadow Rock or a Centennial or something like that is gives us greater flexibility. Really, one team does not justify one entire field for practice. Most organizations that are using the soccer park right now are practicing 2, 3, and 4 teams on a field at one time, just to maximize it.
Are there any more questions before I open it up to public comment? Okay. Mr. Richmond, if you are wanting to make a comment, now would be the time. You have 3 minutes.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. I do agree that the last meeting we had for the workshop was very productive. I appreciated highly the time and the willingness to accept our suggestions, and it seems like something was worked out for everyone. I want to thank, and on behalf of the women, the bathroom is now officially open till 10. I think they're very grateful for that, as we discussed in detail. And it seems as though we obviously just kind of getting into the changes. It seems as though that everything seems to be working positively, at least that's the input that I've received. And as I said, I appreciate it, and I look forward to working with Colby and the staff. You know, when the schedules get busier again, which is Colby mentioned, late February and March, etc. And thank you for inviting me to this meeting today.
Thank you. There's someone else online. Fernando, are you wanting to make any comment?
Fernando, ¿quieres decir algo?
Go ahead.
No, apparently not.
Okay. Very good. So what direction do you want from us, Mr. DeWitt?
I think the best thing, maybe if we just kind of talk about these 4 different items one at a time. And get, just see what the board's input is on each one, and we can finalize stuff. We're wanting to get out the allocation packets for January through April, actually next week. So we get some guidance on what it is we want. That will really help staff and get this information out so that user groups know how we're going to be allocating stuff. So I think maybe like the biggest one is the moratorium. I know it's a scary word. It's a scary thing that we're saying we can't accommodate groups, but I'm limiting it just to the soccer park at this point. Trust me, staff would love to consider facilities across the district. For some reason, this last 2 weeks, we've been inundated with baseball. I have no idea why, but baseball came out of the woodworks. So,
Well, I mean, we can call it what we want. All you're saying is, don't have the space for you right now, starting a wait list.
Yep.
I don't know that it even has to be called a moratorium. It's just we currently right now don't have the space. So I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that.
just want to make sure the board's fine with that. You know, it is it could be somewhat politically challenging. And I just want to make sure you're fully aware. People coming to the board, my comments, people come to the board, and, you know, how can you turn away kids and things along those lines? It's,
But if we don't have the space,
I understand.
I mean, do you officially want it to be a called moratorium?
No, it doesn't have to be called a moratorium. No, you are. We can just say that the facility is full at this point, and we're not taking any new applications, and we're reevaluating our policies.
And we're putting, if you would like to be on our wait list, we'd be happy to put you on our wait list.
Correct. One of the policies we have to really look at is our resident versus non-resident allocations. Just because we've never had non-resident requests like this in the past. So, you know, obviously our first priority is to our residents, but if there's still time, we need to make it available because of the unique nature of how we are operating this facility cover our costs.
I also feel better that the fact that we are looking into Centennial and other options to try to open up some more fields. It's not like we're just stagnant where we are. So as long as we keep working toward that goal, I have no problem with just saying, hey, room right now.
So let's take the first one, also policy to maximize field use. I don't have an issue with that. Although I feel like to some extent that is in juxtaposition to what you said about the fields need to have rest. So do you, when you say maximize field use, do you mean on weekday nights?
Yeah, so, and it primarily is to the turf fields. Our rest comes to the grass fields. I was clear on that. So we have a user group right now that insists on practicing from 6 to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday for a larger club organization. It's really not available for use by other groups beforehand or after. I will say Triple R has used some of the fields from 9 to 10, kind of as overflow. But it gets kind of mismatched, and it's not the ideal situation for them either. The time they get off, it's, they're straggling, they've got their stuff they got to put away, they want to set up for games. It's just not an ideal situation.
So is the board in agreement that we would like staff and the committee to bring forward a policy to maximize field use on weeknights?
One thing, we were also gonna work on sort of a buffer between.
Yeah, I think that's just gonna be something that we're just gonna allocate it that way. So if you're not gonna go 5 to 8, you're gonna go 5 to
7:45.
7:50 type of a deal, 7:55, and the other group will be 8:05. We have a 10-minute transition.
But board is in agreement to ask for the policy to maximize. Okay, and then we already talked about the moratorium. Adult field times. What do you want from us on that?
I don't know if it's necessarily even a policy per se, but this is what we're trying to maximize. The reality is, when we built the budgets for these facilities, it was a lot of it on the adult use. They're really the ones that are there consistently till 10 o'clock. When the AYS or the club teams play a game, they're done by 9:30ish. They're not there till 10 o'clock. But that consistent 10 o'clock, that's kind of a bread and butter that keeps the facility running smoothly. But I think with these changes, switching some priorities around the 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6 concept after the 8 o'clock, and then I hate to say but optimizing the field use that a group can't be there 6 to 9 type of a deal. It just really takes up the middle of the day type of a deal. I think that goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do. So I'm not sure if that's a policy per se, but that is, we're going to give them priority. It's the challenge we run into, and I know Mr. Robles is still on the line and he understands this. Thursdays and Friday nights, there's 2 adult groups out there. It makes it tough on being able to both of them run full leagues. Because again, the grass field's just not a desirable facility for them. But if it looks like, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, the youth leagues may be done at 8 o'clock and they can go onto those other 2 fields. That would be definitely something that we want to see happen. So.
And then Sunday league use, you're wanting our input on perhaps no longer having
Long-term rentals, ongoing leagues, there's gonna be some backlash from it. I'm saying that we're not gonna allow the league play out there, but we want to bring in the tournaments that we had talked about. Those are pay top dollar. We're turning them away right now because we're booking the facility out. We're booking out a Sunday adult league that's out there from 8 to noon. And the field sits vacant the rest of the day. We're not getting use all day long out of it. But if we had a policy that just said, hey, with 30 days notice, you're gonna get bumped on that Sunday because we're bringing in a tournament, I think something like that is fair.
Okay, I'm fine with that. How does everyone else feel? Okay, so we're looking at a policy to do that. Okay, thank you. Anything else on this one, or we finish that one?
We had also discussed looking at things beyond 10 p.m. The discussion.
It's something that we could look at in the future. I'm not a huge fan of going beyond 10 o'clock. It's just getting late for our staff. By the time they're out of there, it's 10:30. To be honest, Mario wanted to weigh in. I don't think the adults are huge fans of playing past 10 o'clock. On an as-needed basis, we can do it, but, it's just no.
I'm sure the homes that are close by would appreciate that either, because there's homes right across the street and then behind the parking lot.
Yeah, the reality is if we allowed it, it would be on 2 and 4. They're the furthest from any homes. The direction of the lights isn't gonna spill over and, keep people awake type of a deal. The biggest complaint we typically get from a park after hours is the noise coming from it, Even though there's not a lot of spectators typically there, they're still cheering and stuff coming from it. So I'm not a huge fan of after 10, but it's something we could definitely look at, should we need to.
So it's just not necessary in regards to some of the other adjustments.
I think a lot of this is gonna accommodate for that, I don't know, Mario, do you have any input on playing past 10? You may not be there anymore. You're muted if you are, try to talk.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, the question was, what is your, do you see any desire or need to play past 10 o'clock at night?
I want to mention, the sound is difficult the reception is difficult. That's why I was having a hard time understanding that it was me. Just so you know, there is a possibility of, there is a chance that 10 o'clock might work in the future. It's something that we have considered and that we have posted to people to think about. As I said in the past, it's kind of a culture that you need to develop since everybody has to go to work the next day. But I see it always as a possibility, indeed. Yes.
It would not be your first priority though, right?
Correct. It will not be a first priority, but as soccer keeps growing and more space is needed, I think that's a possibility that we should consider, because obviously the kids need to go to bed and do homework and whatever, but the adults have the possibility to stay up a little later. So it's something that we would put on the table and present it and push it as much as possible. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Anything else? Are we done with this item?
I think we have the information, staff can get working on this and get the packets out. We'll bring back a formal policy, a couple of things just for adoption here. Look at the wording on the full right now. So we'll start to read this. So I think that'll be appreciated. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
The next item is item 5.2, which is my staff with feedback concerning the ARP 40th anniversary events.
If you give me a second here. Next. With me. So as the board is aware, we are in our 40th year now. As of November 1, Parks District officially became the Brook Area Recreation Park District, November 1 of 1984. We've come a long ways in that time period here. And we have been talking about what we can do to best promote the district the next year here. Our 40th year. Yeah. Yes, this is our 40. We're not 40 years old. This is our 40th year. I clarify that.
We'll be 40 years
We'll
old
be-
on November 1st, 2024.
Correct. Yeah, this is our celebration leading up to it, our 40th anniversary year. So staff been working on some ideas. We've kicked around a lot of different ideas for a special logo for the 40th. Nobody really likes the whole 40th as a back silhouette to our logo that we're using. It just didn't work well. But we're looking at some special logos. We have some ideas we're gonna talk about with you guys. We'll have some new facilities and potential grand openings coming this year. The renovation of the Rupa Community Center potentially would reopen right around November-ish of next year. We have the potential acquisition of the dog park from the city. That could be an activity that would fall into that. We want to tie stuff into all of our special events and 40th themed everything going forward. Special giveaways for the 40th anniversary. Community surprises are kind of pop-up type of events, post on, hey, come find the staff at such and such a park, a little trivia type contest, and have giveaways, during the summer, maybe popsicles or something like that, little giveaway type of a deals. Some ideas we've kind of kicked around here for 40th anniversary year. Nothing's just really jumping around in any of the staff here, to be honest. We've just had challenges with it, but some of the things that we've come across, even just the last couple of days here, we started rethinking this and not 2004 40th year, 2024, I'm sorry, but let's go, what if we went retro? 1984. That kind of thing's very popular right now, that retro look. You see kind of a play off the rainbow color you'll see and stuff on the different years. We had we like this look a lot better. Playing with our colors, playing with the 84, and a tagline, serving the community since 1984. I think this is better.
Are those the original colors?
No, these are our colors that we're using now.
You can brighten them up, maybe.
Kind of go the 80s.
Yeah.
So I didn't print it in color. I meant to, but I found it 1984, just a 1984 vintage, just looking for some stuff. But it's kind of that 80s neon colors. I told Loretta she's gonna get a pair of parachute pants, and she didn't like that idea. But kind of that bright, flashy 80s stuff. And as we started talking about this with staff and even staff meeting this morning, people get a little more excited with this type of stuff. We did some research. 1984 was actually a really cool year. That was the year the Apple commercial came out. That super infamous Super Bowl commercial, that was 1984. Purple Rain from Prince came out in 1984. The LA Olympics were obviously here. That was the year Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first came out.
So you need the hair bands, man.
Yeah. Tetris, the video game, 1984. Footloose and 16 Candles. And then Born in the USA for Bruce Springsteen. So there's kind of some iconic things that we could really play around. And, staff, you guys are aware through the social pinpoint site as the master plan. Movies in the park were one of the biggest requested things that people want to see. And what better way to kick off with some 1984 classics or something like that? I don't know. It was just.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
The creative juices kind of started flowing when we went to 1984. Like we could do the summer concert series, an 80s band, a 90s band, kind of the decades type of a deal or something like that. So I think we're on something little that we like there. We have the grand opening here, re-grand opening of the community center. Potential grand opening of the dog park would kind of be the only things we have going there. Staff wants to do some sort of a picnic JRP birthday celebration, maybe October it says 2023, it'd actually be 2024. Maybe here, like at Agate Park, and try to tie in some sort of an equestrian element, demonstration of some point, trying to tie the community together. That we don't necessarily do in some of our other events. That's just kind of a thought that they have put out there. We don't have a whole lot of stuff really as to what it would truly be. But that's just kind of a grassroots, small town, community, picnic fair, type of a deal. And that's kind of where we're at. And then kind of some community surprises, just little giveaways, instructors and staff, appreciations for the senior center. Loretta's working on a list of all of our past board members, the best we can figure out from 1984 through today. We have a list of general managers and key staff. See about inviting any of those past board members to some of the events, recognize the founding fathers type of a deal. We got a list of a Thursday fun fact about the history of the district that the staff's working on. On this day in 1988, such and such park opened, or just things along those lines, kind of show a timeline progression of the district, how we've grown over time. But I think this approach is really coming at it. Ongoing trivia contests, stuff on social media we talked about, historic content, timeline and growth of parks. Community members of recognition, there's been a lot of different community members that have contributed from not just the parks, but stuff we've been involved in, from the rodeo to, youth leagues that are partners and stuff like that, who've been key players throughout the years. Recognizing stuff like that, district-wide scavenger hunts. And then the one thing they want to do is a newsletter to promote, the 40th anniversary, but everything that we have going on and stuff like that. So I think that's the last slide down there. So that's kind of where we're at. I just want to see if we're on the right track from you guys. If this is.
From an event standpoint, yes. From a logo standpoint, still no. It has to, people don't understand why you're putting out a logo that says 1984. So it has to say.
Well, it's gotta be a tagline with it or something.
Or 1984 to 2024 or.
Maybe a version of playing around since 1984 or something,
Or something
some
better.
kind of version of that may be a little more refined, but
Yeah, but people have to understand why it says 1984.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I just
Also,
think this was kind of a better,
yeah,
kind of that retro look.
yeah, and I'm in agreement that I think the colors need to be more of the 80s, whatever was big in the 80s.
Fluorescent yellows and
Yeah.
blues and.
We don't
Like
necessarily,
keep the same orange, but make it a bright orange, make it a bright blue, bright green.
right, neon-y.
More neonish.
I mean, and it can still have leaves or trees. It doesn't have to have the same leaves and the same trees. But like that one over there that has the 84 in the circle, that reminds me, isn't there like a?
84 lumber.
Yeah,
See the one, 84 lumber, but yep.
yeah, that's what that looks like.
You're right, you're 100% right.
84 to 2024,
Yeah.
and say something
Yeah.
about the 40 years. That
Playing around for 40 years or something.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea. of
84 to 2000.
playing, for 40 years.
I mean, that's what we do. We play, we promote play, but something.
Founded
Yeah.
November 1, 1984, something, but right now just screaming at people, 1984 means absolutely nothing to them. So I just.
Yeah, I don't know. We totally envision some sort of tagline to go with it.
Concerts in the park should definitely be hairband stuff.
Next we go back to the traditional, different genres, but it'd be really cool just for this one summer to really play it out. Well, and I just, I think it's okay to spend a few $100s and get graphic artists.
Oh, no. We just threw these around right now. We can, that's definitely been one. There's all kinds of different sites out there, Fiverr and stuff like that, where we can get graphic artists to come. We need a starting point of kind of what our vision is.
One that sticks out to me is the white font.
Like, okay.
The top, second one over,
Yeah.
just bright yellows and or oranges and blues and greens and.
Well, I think it still needs to be like a logo. Maybe it could be round, maybe it's oval, but
Something else to show you next in December.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll play with it. We just want to make sure you guys.
We envision putting this on almost a commemorative staff shirt type of deal in the
Right.
back, still have our district logo on the front, obviously. But, make it fun. We need staff to buy into this too and, yeah, I could see, like I said, 80s hairband or.
And see, I was looking at the 84 lumber thing up there. You had our old logo in that, and the new logo on the corner, the other corner.
Oh, please.
Michael and Mike will never use that old.
Yeah, please.
I'm just saying, I don't like the 84.
No. No, I get, yeah.
I mean, if you did our old logo, but actually did it by somebody where they used consistent graphics and everything, I'm not against that, but that logo in and of itself, is pretty bad.
Right. But that's also our past.
Yes,
No, you're correct.
So,
At some point, it needs to show up somewhere. It doesn't have to stay there for long.
no, right, but I mean, I agree, everything, everybody agrees that, you know, the old logos, you know, but it is part of our history, so.
Right.
Some of the logos things I found here, like vintage 1984, but limited, but just playing off of that, those things are kind of trendy right now. You know, I said playing around since 84 or something
like that.
along those lines, yeah,
Having fun,
yeah.
Parks and Rec since '84.
Play, I don't know, sun, fun, and I don't know, but something, we have creative staff and we can get some
Because
markers.
playing with you since '84 doesn't sound right.
No.
Gotta be careful how we word it.
I mean, also, there are graphic arts
Yes,
companies in Brook Valley too. I
correct.
don't know if fiber's the way to go on that. Anyway.
Any
Okay,
other input? You like the idea, the, just kind of a constant theme across the,
yes. With like colors and stuff, yeah. You know, any staff shirts we buy during that year, those colors, I mean, if we're buying T-shirts
Yeah.
or whatever, with that logo. And, yeah, County Parks did that when they had an anniversary and they did the staff shirts that year with that logo on it. With their, whatever their.
40
anniversary
years
is.
of play might sound good too, because 40 years of play. Right.
Okay.
Well,
40
if
years.
if you had a J, you know, 84 to 2024, put 40 years of play. And like on a T-shirt or something on the back of a T-shirt, that would kind of like say it all. I mean,
I'm just picturing
We just do more than play.
a Van Halen 80s concert T-shirt.
right, poison, something.
Yeah, just.
You know, you might also take a look at those logos from '84 Olympics
We looked at that today too.
that had those like people and that had those bright colors.
You have the stars with the red, white, and blue kind of lines with it.
Oh, I'm thinking more, no, they had a different logo that had like outlines of people doing different sports in black.
Oh, yes.
Like the neon.
Was it like a stick person?
Yeah, each event has their own logo.
This was some of the stuff we had talked about, but then you had,
I mean, I know this because I still have that stuff at my house. So. Like, look up like T-shirt or bag or something. No, none of those.
No, but yeah, but.
this was the 84
That was-
Olympics logo.
They scrolled
But
down.
that's not what we're talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about. Let's see what pops up. That's why
Go to images and see. if you can-
their search engine stinks.
We got some research to do before we bring it back, but
Huh, that's not,
I think
showing up
we're-
anywhere.
But like events or.
Icons. This is what you were talking about, right? These are the.
were the man.
Yeah, but
the
they
black
put that
with the
over
white.
with colors though.
This.
Yeah, it looked like a stick.
It was like pink and black and
I remember the,
there's the eagle.
Sam the Eagle. I remember my aunt and uncle worked at the shooting range there in Chino, and yeah, it was those. Or pastels.
Yes.
We'll come up. We'll keep searching. We'll find the right. Give more ideas.
And like this,
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna look on.
We'll keep looking.
Had a glass. Huh? I had a cup, a glass cup.
Yeah.
Had the,
so what'd you say, Olympic shirts, is that what you said?
Yeah, or bags, one or the other.
I had the little plush with a small plush of the.
Sam.
Yeah, these aren't quite. The pen train was popular.
Had some-
All right, we'll get an artist on this though.
Sorry.
Okay,
Investing another.
That last Wonder Woman movie had that 84 retail.
Okay.
You also play with that theme right over here.
That's right. Oh. mhm.
oh, good, let me pull that one up there, which you Google?
84 logo.
Okay, any day of the week I could find that 57 times, but.
And we get kind of creative juices flowing. We can kind of
You know what I mean? Two different directions and you guys can kind of bring us into what you're collectively.
See, you got PSQs in Google, that's why.
Oh my gosh, The Undertaker debuted in 1984. I just typed in 1984 debuts.
Yeah.
just to
All
see
right,
what
I
comes
think
up.
we're getting there. I think we're, okay, good.
Yeah, right, straight.
Okay,
Or
perfect.
Miami Vice, there you go. You want some pastel
Oh,
colors?
that's 1984 to me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm getting me a pastel shirt, some loafers, a white suit.
Why is there?
that and My Little Pony
Please no.
debuted in 1984.
Yeah, I'm not
Please
doing that.
no. Okay, so that takes care of that.
All right, so I think we're good.
Styles are
Any other questions there?
Why can I not? Find it? I guess I literally have to go home and pull out my bag of Olympic souvenirs. All right.
All right, and the last item here is purchase of security gates for Knowles Field parking lot. This was a goal of the board, and frankly, it's just taken us longer than we had wanted to get this to you. And staff was able to come up with quotes to put fences, gates, I'm sorry, in all three parking lots. Knowles is kind of unique in that it has three separate entrances to the park. The low bid was Elrod Fence right here in Rupa Valley, a total of $6,589. And this will be part of our locking up of facilities at night. We'd actually work with Little League when they're leaving at night, just to, they'd close it for us on those nights, but just to keep the unwanted element out of the park after hours. That part gets a lot of it.
Well, it's not gonna keep people from walking through.
Not gonna keep people from
But
walking,
it will
keep
keep
people from driving.
Parking in the parking lots.
And yeah, unwanted activities.
That's what the neighborhood deserves. Do I have does anybody have any questions? If not, do you have a motion?
Move the Board of Directors accept the bid from Elrod Fence Company for $6,589 for the installation of security gates at all three parking lots at Knowles Field.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Uh,
All those opposed? Motion passes 4-0. General Manager's report,
Yeah, a couple of things I just wanted to kind of highlight with the board here.
and also could you give us some master plan update?
Yep, I will. Here's my. As you guys know, we've been working on our camera installations throughout the facilities here. So this is the web version of it. It's not as user friendly, but it's easier than loading the program on this computer, and it takes quite some time to load the data in. Record replace this mouse. This is Riverbend Park. Riverbend Park looks phenomenal at night. If you guys haven't been down there, please do so. See here, which one am I looking for? I always forget. It's the last one I choose. That's a great picture how bright it is. Maybe it's just the first one. I should have done that. It's just a great picture of Riverbend Park. This park is so well lit up at night. We have access, we can control them and zoom in on different areas. Just want to kind of highlight a couple of the parks for you guys. You can tell by the list here, we have going, there are quite a few parks now that have cameras that are fully functional in them. We will go to the district office in Agate. So there's that Director Johnson's card.
Yep.
So these are out in the park here. This picture right here, this is a great picture. This is being taken from the snack bar at the ball field. The camera is able to zoom in all the way. That's material, a lot of vandalism on them. So we'll be able to see a lot better what's going on at night. These will all revert back to their positions here momentarily. Then we get inside, maybe this one. Making me look bad here.
You can still include display, have you back down to this one?
That's the kitchen. This is,
The lights
Us.
on there. Oh,
so we have our cameras inside the building now. And then just the last one I want to show you guys real quick here. I do appreciate you bearing with me.
oh, this is the most recent ones we installed.
These are the most recent ones we've installed. Shower comes up. Probably gonna be dark inside because I think they're gone for the night. So we could have got the drive-through.
Yeah, right.
Every door entrance to the building is covered now. Back doors. I think it's these two. Here's the big room. As you can see, is set up for an activity by this weekend. But we've got great coverage of of the inside of the facility now, so we're really excited about that. And the outdoor cameras for Vernola and Skyview are coming this next week. They'll be installed. So they were supposed to be this week, but the winds we had to call off. They didn't want to be able to do that. So that's just an update on the cameras there. You know, it's been a big project for us here. The master plan, we are just shy of 400 surveys received between the statistically valid that was sent out and the open link. You've been seeing a lot this last week, social media posts and stuff. Emails going out encouraging people to go in and fill out the survey. So we're excited for that. They're proceeding on their inventory, their inspections of the facilities for the rating criteria, where they're comparing regionally, locally, and nationally. We anticipate probably closing the survey. My guess is going to be right around Thanksgiving is where we're kind of looking at right now. From there, they'll be able to target the data. They have not looked at any of the data yet per se.
Did we get 200 and something though with the?
200 something was, yes,
Okay,
of the original, the ones that were mailed out for statistically valid survey.
Yes. that's
So,
right.
and that number is as of last Monday, so we're a week and a half old. So it's probably higher than that. They're only giving me, I've only asked for updates every other week. And our next thing we'll be looking at sometime early mid-December, once we're able to analyze the data, is when we'll have our meeting with the public to go over the results of the survey and talk about what they mean and, you know, how things are ranked and prioritized. From there, they'll start working on the actual master plan itself. So we're right on time. We're looking still of a June of 2024 adoption date for it. No major hiccups have really come into play. As you're aware, we approved the amendment to the agreement. We'll be doing the joint trails master plan with the city. We have a kickoff meeting for that. I believe it's next week. So the master plan's moving along nicely. Other than that, I just want to encourage you all to attend the parade this Saturday. You're all welcome to be on our float. We hope you're able to attend. We was quite nervous there for a while, but we've actually, as of close of business today, we've staff's finalized everything. We have one more entry than last year. So that was good. Still can't get any major bands, high school bands come out and play. That's just how can you have a parade without a band? That's just, but they have a big band competition apparently this weekend and none of the bands are available. That's where we're at. Other than that, youth basketball registration is going on. Oh, yes, yeah. And then if anybody is available, I sent out an email next Friday if you want to volunteer and help serve meals to these seniors for their Thanksgiving, that'd be greatly appreciated. I know several city council members have said they're available. It's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I think it'd be a great opportunity for our seniors. They really appreciate seeing some of their elected officials out there. Just let us know.
Okay, wasn't it both for Thanksgiving?
And the Christmas one is December 5th. 15th, December 15th. One's the 17th, one's must be November 17th and December 15th. They're both 11 to 1. So if you're available, we'd love to have you. We're gonna. With that,
Okay.
So-
Mr. Castellan, do you have anything?
I wasn't able to make it spectacular, but I heard it went really well. So thank you for staff for all the work that went into that. And I'll be attending Veterans Memorial Veterans Parade, so looking forward to seeing you all there. That's it for me.
Thank you. Mr. Goodings.
Yes, I was not spectacular. It was pretty fun judging the contest. I think we should work a little bit on format, probably registering people because it's starting to get a little popular.
for the costume contest,
For the costume
we pick around ideas of that too.
Okay, cool. It seems like we had a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, I think we had more than last year. It's wristband sales were right about the same as last year, but I think there was more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I know you messaged us about the trees, that we lost a few trees. So I would like to see sort of a program or a method of us replacing trees and perhaps adding more trees in the future to our parks.
And just so you know, it's at the ideal time to replace trees,
Correct.
but we've talked, every tree that we did have to remove, we will be replacing in the spring. Yeah. But yeah, no, I understand. We can bring back a presentation on that.
And then just thank you to staff for their hard work, especially with the soccer thing. It's gonna be an ongoing process.
They appreciate it. It's been a challenge. There was some concession made finally and appreciate it.
Mr. Beecher?
As spectacular was fun as always. Loved judging the contest. Maybe one tweak is maybe we could have them wear numbers next time, make it easier to do the voting. The only critique I would have was where the stage was at and the sound system, the announcements did not make it to the other end of the field. So whether we have a redundant set of speakers next time, if you want to say that, but that would be the only real critique of it. I'm very much looking forward to the Veterans Day Parade again. The only thing is Denny's gives veterans free breakfast on Friday. On Saturday morning, I won't be able to do it, or tomorrow I won't be able to do it because I have a doctor's appointment. Bummer, they won't do it on the day, but other than that. Yeah, great, and staff has done, and the committee has done a great job with the soccer park. I know that's been a thorn on our side for a while, and a lot of hard work has gone into where we're at so far. So thank you guys for working on that.
Well done.
Yep.
I also want to thank the committee of Mr. Cadenas and Mr. Castellan for working with staff on that issue. I think it was your committee that should have worked on it, but I think of everyone on the board, it was the two of you that were the best positioned with the most knowledge to work on that. So thank you so much. And I do think that helped move things along. Once board members got involved, it just gives you a different atmosphere and a different feeling to the people we're working with. And it's just staff. Yes, I attended Spectacular. It was great. I've already given Mr. DeGuid my comments on. It was just we were doing it differently this year. It was becoming hard. We got so many people. People couldn't see their kids while they're in the contest. I understand why we're doing it on the stage, but yeah, we just completely did it differently this year. And there's always going to be some tweaks and things that we can do a little bit better.
Speed wasn't necessarily the answer either.
No, it was not. Maybe Mr. DeGuid and I talked about not necessarily a stage that high, just a stage of like a lower stage. It has a little ramp on either end and blah, blah, blah that we could do. And of course the numbers and things like that. I think all of those things are fine. And I think next year we'll tweak it a little more. I happened to drive by Knowles Field yesterday and it reminded me that Knowles Field is positioned in an area that is park poor. And unfortunately, Knowles Field does not contribute to that area not being park poor because all it is a baseball field. It isn't a park. It isn't, not saying you can't go run around on the green grass, but you see what I'm saying. And I really would like to see something on an upcoming agenda, maybe December, January, February, to have a discussion at the board level about Knowles Field and whether we want to spend some money, perhaps having a landscape architect look at it. And I mean, even if we carve out 4 parking spaces out of one of the parking lots, I just think that that's an opportunity. It's land we own, it's land we're already maintaining. It really should have a park. It should have some sort of play element. It's, you know, it's in a park poor area. We already own it. Let's take advantage of it and do something. And if that's 4 or 5 less parking spaces, there is some street parking around Knowles Field. So it's not like the parking lot is the only parking that can be available for that facility. So I'd like that to be an upcoming agenda item for us to have a discussion with.
Just a discussion, not a proposal or anything like that, correct?
No, to have a discussion. I mean, you can tell us what, you know, what would it cost to get someone to look at it and do that and create a plan and all of that, but no, not a formal presentation. And then we can decide if we want to pay that cost, and if so, then we could
Some
actually,
more of a workshop.
yeah, I guess so. Just to kind of see what we can do with Knowles Field. And one of the trivias can be who is Knowles. Anyway,
The answer is.
I probably my dad know because my dad was softball back in the day.
Oh, did really name that for somebody from Little League?
I'm pretty sure,
Oh, good to know.
pretty sure. Anyway, that was it. Unfortunately, due to a family thing, I cannot be at the parade this Saturday. I'm very sorry about that, but I do need to be available and help my daughter and her husband with move that they're making. And so, especially since she's having a baby. And so I'm going to be there and make sure she doesn't do too much. That is going to be my job. She doesn't know that. That is my job on Saturday. Anyway, that's all I have to say. So I don't think there's any committee reports that we have to discuss. Our upcoming meetings are, yeah, the board meeting was canceled because our next meeting would be on Thanksgiving, and no, you don't have to come here. And then our next meeting, our only meeting in December, will be December 14th. Unless, of course, we have a special meeting for any reason. And as of that, at 7:43, we'll call this meeting adjourned. So I did December's meeting.